Welcome back, Aries. This is the extended for your full moon in Gemini. I will continue to clarify the horoscope axis and pull out with the Crow Tarot and pull out a Flora Fauna of Africa card at the end. Thank you for joining me. We're going to begin now with the first house card. The High Priestess in the first house, clarified by the King of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. So here we have another ace, and I really like the way these were moving in a circle, so I'm going to maintain that. I see you giving yourself, holding yourself in a lot of protective energy, in a lot of compassion as you are processing some fairly extensive memories and connections to those experiences that are really building up your sense of knowledge and clarity about your purpose and your path. This is really verifying that the maturity you've gained through the ups and downs of your experiences, your relationships, have really allowed you to accept, forgive yourself for any errors or difficulties that you feel, or difficult choices that you feel you've had to make, without judgment, with pure compassion. And this is really the gift that is required as you let go of so many difficult memories and experiences, so many difficult beliefs that you once even unconsciously held that framed your decisions about partners, friends, and your interactions with them. But this is creating more firmly and more clearly the skills that you've gained in order to tell your story, this opportunity for abundance, for growth, is really confirmed in wanting to create a tool, evidence, an artifact, a document, a story, something, an organization, a critical effort at putting together something that will be long-lasting, that will be of value to as many people as possible. This is your opportunity to show others how you have found abundance in your life, how you have allowed yourself to become practically empowered, and how you have, this will be a gateway to personal abundance, prosperity, to the degree that you desire that. And this is largely important because this feels as though you found an authentic way to feel justified in pursuing abundance on behalf of others. In the fourth house, the Sun card is clarified by the Nine of Wands, and in the fifth house, in the Hierophant in the sixth house. The Nine of Wands is indicating your incredible willingness to persevere in your efforts at self-expression. The self-expression is deeply tied to the way that you find pleasure, the way you process pleasure among your friends, your colleagues, your children. This can relate to teaming up, collaborating with children, grandchildren, friends, and their children to create something, your ability to persevere in that way. What you envision as a way to access your gifts is through children in general in an interesting way. It may be that your creative products or services come to be viewed as you would view your children if you have children, or a way that you begin to understand how you're nurturing your creativity as one would a child, so that your creative life is now seen in terms of an evolution, of a development that you feed and nurture, and that begins to communicate and live with you in relationship. So you are determined to realize this aspect of your creative life in collaboration. Moreover, there is an institutional sense, an organized way in which you are also experiencing guidelines, guidance in which you can nurture your relationships, your understanding of the value of what it is you're teaching. This could come to you through a school, an organization, a religious organization, a community organization, but there is a place or an organization that you want to support with your efforts. This can be you teaching in a school, a hospital, or a prison. This is a place where you are sharing your gifts, the things that you've learned, your story, with those that do not have access, do not have physical access to what it is you're sharing. But your potential to make a living link with people that are confined in some way. In the seventh house, the Nine of Swords is clarified by the Page of Cups in the eighth house, and of course the Ace of Cups in the ninth house. So this is really about this empowerment, and it's really beginning to feel to me like a health opportunity in an institutional health, so that you may be working with medical expertise, staff members, nurses, people who have experience on the ground or who are in need of your expertise, your story, what you have learned, your personal experience, in order to create something, access this power where your sharing becomes a creative act of love, self-reflection, and self-respect. You are entirely open to a new level of information and experience that you now feel empowered and heard in this conventional environment that may have felt alienating or hostile to you. You're finding a way to humanize these environments, not just for yourself, but for others. So I'm sensing this really powerful collaboration that is potential in places where well-being is prioritized, new ways of understanding and experiencing wellness through the inclusion of the diversity of your stories, the peripheral experience that you have undergone, the peripheral journey you may have undergone, which is actually more common for most people than some of these institutions have been able to recognize and integrate into the way that well-being is tended to that health is tended to. And finally, the Judgment card has been clarified with the Knight of Pentacles in the 11th and the Queen of Pentacles in the 12th. This is really verifying your greater ability to begin to receive the rewards of your efforts. This is about understanding that the process that you have endured in many cases, perhaps from illness to wellness, perhaps in both directions, almost like a two-way street, the way in which you have learned to internalize this resourcefulness is part of the transformative act that you are now seeing fruit from. This is about not just manifesting abundance in very practical ways, but also of receiving, being able to receive that. And this can be a challenge for you, not in terms of actually receiving the rewards of your social efforts, but really receiving the rewards of or the gifts of all of your relationships, being on the receptive end, allowing yourself to be nurtured as part of the consequence of your nurturance. So building something of practicality is your way of feeding your community, and you are also enjoying being nurtured and fed by those that you love. I'm going to pull an oracle from the flora and fauna of Africa, and I'm not pulling or revering, referencing Africa, the motherland, as a way of simply referencing the past, but also this is in preparation for the future that you're creating, that we're creating. And I pulled the bed-headed vulture. And there's also a plant here, the Scotch thistle. And the key word of the Scotch thistle is self-respect. The mantra is accept your flaws and strive to be a better you. Learn from your mistakes and move on. It will be very rewarding. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that this is built on the initial message. I welcome your feedback, your comments as always, and always thank you for all your support and love. Namaste.